it shows a lack of creativity when leaders don't allow conflict to just happen and then facilitate and see what happens, because they're actually putting a lid on back on the box of the creative solutions on both sides of the fence that I'm sure would just naturally come out by having just normal human to human dialogue, right?
Absolutely. And I love that you use the word creativity, because I'm a huge proponent that conflict is going to happen. It's a normal, natural part of our lives. You both have experienced conflict. I've experienced conflict. I'm experiencing some sort of conflict in my life at this point. And I know for sure that I'm going to be experiencing conflict, whether it's internal or external or systemic, whatever it is, for the rest of my life. So conflict really is inevitable. And the idea of trying to avoid something that is inevitable, I don't know, it seems kind of crazy to me. I don't want to be judgmental of anyone or, for their beliefs, but it's definitely not a helpful way to see things, right? And so when we think about conflict as this inevitability, um, we can start to shift our mindset of like, okay, well, if it's inevitable, why am I avoiding this? How is that really helping me to avoid it? Because I know it's going to happen. And that's why I've really taken on communication skills. They've been passionate for me. And specifically on how to resolve conflicts, I've seen so much fruit come from that. And I want to give you a great example of what has come from being able to actually handle conflict really effectively in terms of a creative solution. So in January 2020, I moved with my wife to Cape Town, South Africa. Never set foot in the country, nonetheless the continent. And when transitions are challenging for humans. Like, transitions are really hard. I would like to consider myself great at transitions, but I didn't handle this one any better than I think anyone else would have. New country, new environment, new living space. I got to figure out what's going on at the grocery store. How am I going to run my business in different time zones? My fitness regimen, how am I going to handle that? I want to keep in touch with friends and family back home. I want to explore this new city I'm part of. There's a lot going on, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknowns. And that's what makes transitions really challenging. And within the first few days of arriving here, I found a lot of tension building between my partner and I. It just didn't seem like we were communicating quite clearly enough. And I'm a communication guy. She also has been on this journey with me and being, a great communicator and having an amazing relationship where we communicate really clearly. And it's just for whatever reason, there was this stuff coming up. There was conflict there. And this really came to, I remember there was a moment, I can't quite describe it, but it was like I threw up my hands. I said, okay, this isn't working. Something is up. Let's just put some time and schedule later today, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. Like, what is going on here? Like, we're like getting at each other. This is so odd. Now, that was a pivotal moment right there. Just kind of calling a timeout, not letting it continue, actually getting in communication about the issue, right? Because otherwise, we would have just let it fester, let the bickering continue, the fighting continue. It would have built. And then it would have introduced this element called drama that we are all so familiar with in our lives. And I don't like drama. I don't think most people do not like drama.
Unless,
Sorry?
unless it's on TV.
Unless it's on TV, which is a whole other ball game, right? Because if you want to watch conflict be solved very ineffectively, just watch some reality TV. That's how you do that. So what we did, though, is we actually solved it very effectively, I think. What we did is we booked some time and calendar. We sat down, we said, okay, what's going on? And we got to the bottom of it. It turned out to be just some issues with our scheduling. See, we're both professional coaches. We need spaces to talk to our clients that are in private. We also wanted to spend time together. We wanted to explore the city, do all those things I had mentioned. And we just were not communicating about that. And so we came up with this idea. And I know this is going to seem like really silly, but it was like a really big deal for us. And we decided at the beginning of every day, we wake up in the morning, we do our little routine, our meditation, and then we sit down together. And for 5, maximum 10 minutes, we look at our calendar. And we just look at what's going on today. When do you have a call? Oh, at this time? Okay, I have it at this time. Who's going to get what space at that time? When are we going to go grocery shopping together? Get that stuff sorted. We look at the next couple of days as well, just to get a feel. And we do that every day. And it's been 7 months and we're still doing that. This new creative solution that literally didn't exist in our lives. We had been together for almost 7 years at that point, and never had we put in that idea until this conflict came up, and we managed to resolve it through communication. And now I can't really imagine living without this little routine of ours.